Here we are at Florida Keys, Sammy Creek Landing. We're going to find ourselves a place to paint. Hi friends, Shannon here. Thank you for joining me on another art adventure. If you are new to my channel, my hope is that you will be encouraged to go out and paint. Anyone can do it, and you can do it anywhere. It's a fun way to release negative energy and anxiety and feel both calm and enlivened. I've chosen a palm tree to paint and a nice shady spot to set up. I'm beginning with a sketch using not too small a paintbrush. Artists call this a sketch, even though it is completed using paint. It's important to take your time during this step. You want to have a good composition before you proceed. I start with a horizon line that is not centered, and then I start sketching in the basic proportions. With a landscape, I generally start with the background and work my way forward. I'm including a reference photo so you can see what I'm looking at. While I'm looking directly at the palm tree, I'm going to make sure that I do not put that trunk straight up the center of my painting, because that would make my painting lack movement and possibly make it dull and uninteresting. I'm dropping in the background sky first. I'm using the same colors that I used to tone the canvas, but with more cobalt blue and a bit of cerulean mixed in as well. The sky will gently blend from a saturated blue at the top to a lighter value near the horizon. I briefly sketched the palm tree back in. I'm starting with what is farthest away, so the clouds. I like to sketch in the basic shapes with titanium white, and then add medium to make some areas of the cloud more transparent, and finally layer more white to show the sun reflecting off the clouds. When you're doing the clouds, try to keep it light, and after you've added some layers, step back away from your painting and give it a look. When you're right atop your painting, it might look abstract, and you need to step away to realize how awesome it looks. Take your time to build up the clouds, but don't overwork them. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this great tip. I do not actually use pure white. I mix in a minute amount of sky color. The clouds still read as white, but by doing this, I can make the highlights with pure white. So in this case, the tops of the clouds are reflecting the sun, and they can pop out and look more impressive because the rest of the clouds are not actually pure white. I'm dropping in the rest of the background. Flipping the canvas over to do the bottom of the painting is always a good idea. Next, I sketch the palm back in so I don't lose it, but I'll detail it later. I'm still working back to front as I add the details. The water is detailed by adding a color lighter than my base color and a color deeper than my base color. In this case, I'm putting a little viridian green into the deeper color. The strokes will be bigger near the bottom of the water area and smaller as they get further away or move up on the canvas. Later, you can go back and add some more values in between your lighter shade and base, and again in between your deeper shade and base color, and before you know it, it looks like water. While working at the bridge, I need to keep it simple because it's not a point of interest, and it is pretty far back in my depth of field. As things recede, they will be more simple, less saturated, and less contrasted. I want the sand to appear textured. I'm going to use a small brush almost in a pointillism style, and then move to a very big brush and stipple that onto the canvas as well. One thing that works very well for this is using an old brush such that the bristles are not in very good condition and they're in a bit of disarray. Dab that into the paint, preferably not completely mixed paint so you get a couple of hues and values on your brush, and stipple it onto the area that you want textured. I'm going to give you a look around. Here's what it looks like after a day at the beach. The tree needs a little more work, but you certainly could call it finished. I'm hoping you are focusing on the action of painting and not worrying too much about the outcome. I will take this to my studio and finish it up. I'm adding more darks and lights and more details. Finally, I put a varnish over the top, which helps enhance the darks and lights. Thank you for watching.